Welcome back to The Explainer. We spent a lot of time on this show breaking down complex data, making it visual and easy to grasp. And today, we're zooming way out. We are moving past the standard checklist of what makes a business AI ready. For so long, the conversation has been totally hijacked by the tech stuff, right? Data infrastructure, cloud capabilities, computing power, the whole shebang. But here's the reality businesses are quickly waking up to. The absolute best algorithms in the world literally cannot fix a disconnected team. So today we're tackling the single biggest factor that decides if your AI initiative is going to thrive or just completely crash and burn, and that is leadership.
AI transformation is not simply a technology project. It's an organizational change process. I absolutely love this quote from our sources because it represents a huge paradigm shift. It completely reframes how we should be looking at this. Leadership is what determines success or failure here. Think about it. A technology project? That's just buying a bunch of software licenses, turning them on and walking away. Easy, right? But an organizational change process? Well, that's about fundamentally rewiring how human beings actually work, how we collaborate, and how we deliver value. It's a massive culture shift, just as much as a code shift.
So, what is the most common AI leadership mistake? We see it everywhere. Companies dropping millions of dollars on enterprise AI, spinning up whole departments, hiring top-tier talent, and then absolute crickets. Zero adoption. The shiny new tools just sit there gathering digital dust. It really makes you wonder, right? Where do leaders drop the ball so badly? Let's take a step back, disrupt the usual narrative for a second, and look at where things actually fall apart when we try to force these incredibly powerful tools into our everyday routines.
It really boils down to this, focusing almost entirely on the systems and tools, the technology implementation, while completely ignoring the people and culture, the organizational readiness. There's this incredibly persistent myth out there that rolling out AI is just a standard tech upgrade. Executives will sometimes treat it exactly like moving to a new cloud storage provider or pushing a software patch. They just expect employees to magically figure it out on their own. But here's the truth. Real AI integration, that demands leaders who actually guide their people through a massive operational shift. You just can't buy shiny new software, cross your fingers, and hope your company culture automatically embraces generative models and automated workflows. It doesn't work that way.
So if the technology itself isn't some magic silver bullet that solves all our productivity problems, we've got to look at the fallout. What actually happens when organizational alignment is weak? What does it look like on the ground, in your daily Slack channels or team meetings, when leadership totally ghosts the human element of an AI rollout? Let's dig into what goes down when the grand strategy completely misses the human reality.
The cost here is genuinely severe. What you end up getting is disconnected implementation, super unclear priorities, communication that's all over the place, and honestly just total operational confusion. Imagine the absolute chaos of teams sprinting in completely opposite directions. You might have one department going all in on AI to cut costs and automate jobs, while right across the hall, another department is quietly using shadow AI to build out new products, and nobody is talking to each other. When communication breaks down like that, silos just harden into concrete. Teams get frustrated because the rules aren't clear, and the data clearly shows that even the most expensive, cutting-edge tech is going to fail if the organization isn't aligned.
Knowing that this kind of wild chaos is a very real possibility, we have to ask a pretty foundational Socratic question to guide us out of the mess and toward an actual solution. Why does leadership matter so much? Why does the buck stop at the absolute executive level rather than, say, middle management or the IT department? Well, there's a very fundamentally human reason why top-tier leadership is the true make-or-break element here.
The answer is elegantly simple. Transformation creates uncertainty. It's just a core human truth, and it's the exact reason businesses struggle to adapt. And look, we aren't just talking about your run-of-the-mill everyday business anxiety here. We're talking about intense, specific fears tied directly to artificial intelligence. People are, quite frankly, terrified of job replacement. They're super anxious about having to learn complex new prompting languages or dealing with entirely alien workflows. And without incredibly strong, empathetic leadership stepping in, that deep-seated uncertainty quickly mutates from just passive worry into active, stubborn resistance.
To combat that profound uncertainty, teams desperately need 4 specific things from their leaders: direction, clarity, confidence, and alignment. Think about what these actually mean when we're talking about AI. Direction means knowing exactly where the company is headed with this tech. Clarity, that means understanding exactly how AI helps us get there. Confidence is about feeling secure enough to actually trust and experiment with these tools, knowing leadership has your back if you mess up. And alignment just means the whole organization is marching in sync.
It is literally the leader's job to provide these 4 pillars, stabilizing the whole transformation process and turning a scary unknown into a structured, manageable journey.
You know, going through this research really made me think about my own workflows and the times I've had to adapt to massive changes. What does effective leadership actually look like in practice when the ground beneath you is shifting so rapidly? How do leaders tangibly give their teams that direction and clarity we just talked about?
Well, strong leaders create clear strategic direction, realistic expectations, transparent communication, and operational consistency. Let's zero in on realistic expectations for a second, because this is a big one. A truly strong leader doesn't pretend an AI rollout is going to be flawless from day one. No way. They communicate right out of the gate that, hey, these initial AI outputs, they're going to need human review. There will be hallucinations. The system won't be perfect. By setting those realistic expectations, they help their teams grasp the why and the how. Like, why is our business changing so much, and how does this messy transformation actually support our long-term goals? When people understand the messy reality of the process, their fear drops dramatically and engagement shoots right up.
And that brings us to an absolutely massive lever for change management: communication. Transparent communication is the glue holding this whole shebang together. But why is it so uniquely critical when we're talking specifically about an AI transformation? Like, what makes it a total, non-negotiable requirement?
Because uncertainty creates confusion incredibly quickly. If leadership leaves a vacuum of information, you better believe rumors are going to instantly fill it. Just paint a quick picture in your mind. Leadership stays completely silent about some powerful new AI tool being deployed. Do you think employees are going to assume it's just there to save them time? Absolutely not. They are going to instantly assume layoffs are coming. That internal grapevine takes over way faster than any official corporate memo ever could. Seriously, a simple lack of proactive communication can derail a high-tech AI initiative way faster than a software glitch ever could.
So, to actively prevent that kind of resistance, teams have to understand 3 very specific things. They need to know the overarching purpose of the change, the expected outcomes, and exactly how their day-to-day workflows are actually going to evolve. It's all about connecting that grand, high-level technological vision directly to an employee's daily life, which, let's be honest, requires real empathy from leaders. Communicating these specific things builds trust and completely strips the threatening mystery away from the AI. When folks know what to expect and exactly how their Tuesday afternoon tasks are going to be impacted, it paves the way for a much smoother, way less painful organizational adaptation.
All right, so we've explored the why and the what of AI resistance. Now let's dive into the actual actionable playbook derived straight from the data. If you're an executive or a changemaker out there looking to execute, this is where the rubber meets the road.
Before a single new software license is even purchased, where should leaders start?
You start by building organizational clarity. This is the foundational layer that absolutely must happen before any technical AI rollout. But what does that really mean in practice? It means ensuring the top of the house is totally 100% aligned on the strategy before you ever try to cascade it down the ranks. Let me be blunt. If you don't have absolute clarity among your executive team, you are practically guaranteed to have total chaos at the bottom.
To build that crucial clarity, leadership teams need to get in a room and vigorously debate 4 very practical questions. Number 1, why are we implementing AI in the first place? Like, are we doing this to truly innovate, or just because our competitors are doing it and we have FOMO? Number 2, which specific business problems are we actually trying to solve? Number 3, how will our current workflows genuinely improve? We need real metrics here, folks, not just corporate buzzwords. And number 4, how do we communicate this honestly to our teams? Answering these questions deeply forces the leadership team to get on the exact same page, which shapes a much stronger, more sustainable transformation outcome.
Okay, let's synthesize this incredible journey we've just been on. Distilling our sources down today, the core takeaway is undeniably clear. AI is an organizational transformation process, not a simple tech upgrade. You are fundamentally managing human anxiety here, not just installing algorithms. Your ultimate success depends heavily on these 4 interlinked factors: leadership clarity, operational alignment, consistent communication, and strategic direction. Master these human elements, and I promise you, the technology implementation becomes infinitely easier. I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to take back to your own teams. Ask yourself, are you guiding your people, or are you just implementing systems? Think really deeply about your own organization's approach to the AI revolution, because true transformation, that requires you to boldly lead the human element. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Next time, we're going to dive even deeper and explore the absolute biggest AI adoption mistakes businesses make and exactly how you can avoid them
You definitely won't want to miss it.